right. I finished closing it in. All right, down the side. There's the ventilation at the top on this side. Ventilation at the top on that side. Got a couple of distant amounts of wood that I had weren't quite enough to get all the way up. And that one was just a really horrific measuring error. So. And then for the hasp on this, I went with something a little fancier just because I could. And then I'm going to build it. The last thing I'm going to do is build a platform right here. And then I got to build a ramp for them. If you're thinking to yourself, you know, that looks like that's on the wrong side. Weren't you originally going to put it over here? Yes, I was. And I took all my measurements and I went over to the board and I just transposed everything in my head. I wrote all the measurements on the back of the board because I didn't want to make the front ugly with my pencil marks. And I cut it on the wrong side, so that's not where the chickens are coming out. Oh, that was very frustrating. And as was to be expected, here's the other side. And I've got the same kind of latch, just easier to get two of them. And that grates up against there exactly as I planned. Coming up inside, here are the roosts on this side, all good. And then this is where I'll pile all the nest boxes. I think I'm going to have to do a couple of minutes of thinking about exactly how they're going to fit in there and how I'm going to cover down on the top of them. But I think that's going to be good. And that'll let us grow our flock quite a bit. All right, so I'm going to take a couple minutes and build a platform. All right, there it is. There's my deck. I just did 2x3s, and then you can see what I actually did was I took them and I just used a couple of cross members so they'll stay evenly spaced. And then, you know, we open and then the girls can come out that way. Coming in, we're gonna check the traps this morning and see if those big traps did anything different. Fingers are crossed. I don't know though. I'm thinking this battle's gonna go on, but I hope not. I hope we're ending it. Oh, yep, there it is. Wow, that was very big. That's two. Did anybody eat anything? It's not appear that they ate anything. Oh, there's still a hole chewed. There's still a hole chewed, so there's at least one more. And another hole chewed over here. Clean this up, and then we're gonna set it again tonight. And we'll just keep going until there's no more. All right, day after the catch of the rats. I'm going to check again. I set the traps again last night. We're going to just check one more time and see if there's more in there or if all the traps are still in place and there's no damage to the feed bag. Then we'll know that we can think that we got them all. All right, traps are empty. No damage to the feed bag. So it was 2 rats in there. But I'm just going to leave those triggered or set up and ready to operate. Just cost me nothing to do that. And I just got to finish up the ramp on the coop here, and then I'll be ready to put this into action. So that's going to be the basis of the ramp. And then I bought some metal hooks to go here, and 2x3s, which will end up running on the outside of these underneath with the little metal hooks that'll go over. And then I got some 1x's that'll go across, like to be the rungs on the ladder to give the hens a grip on the way up. Okay, there it is. There's the ramp. And here's what I did with that. Hopefully that'll last plenty long. And then skadoosh. There we are. So I think that gives them enough spots. I don't think that's too steep. All right, and that, except for maybe a little happy to glad adjustments here and there, that finishes the new coop. No more rats and traps, no more chewing on the feed sack. So I think think it was just those two. Not like that wasn't enough, but I think it was just those two. So this morning, getting ready to move the birds. Not 100% sure how to transition them over into the much bigger chicken coop. So what I'm going to do is put the coop out there with them in their new pen area for them to get used to it. And then I think at the end of the week, I'll close up their old coop and migrate them into the new one, and hopefully that'll make for a clean transition for part of them. This is also the point at which next week when we make that change, I'll split the Australorps into a separate pen so we can get our breeding program going with them. So I'll see how this works. I'm not sure my mule here is going to be able to move it. View coming onto the property now. I don't think that looks too bad. It's big, much bigger than the other ones were. I think it looks good. I'm really pleased that the mule was able to tow this. So we'll leave this out just sitting like this for the next week. Doors open. I'll do a little bit of work on it from time to time. A couple of things I want to tweak in there, like covering the nesting boxes. But for now, the girls are not disturbed by its presence. Sauron was remarkably good this morning. That was a bit of a surprise. I still always wear leather gloves when I go in with him, though, because, yeah, lesson learned. And so what we'll do next week on Sunday night, we'll split them. And we'll let the black Australorps go back into the smaller one. And we'll have the cinnamon queens and the gold stars we'll put into the new big one. And the reason we're going to separate them is we'll put them in 2 separate pens on Monday morning. What that'll do is then we'll release Sauron with the black Australorp hens. And that will commence our effort to try and grow our flock from our own stock. I don't know how that's going to do. I've never done anything like that before, but I've got incubator and all that kind of stuff. But for now, I'm really pleased with how that went. I guess next step is I got to shift my efforts back to getting some fencing done on the back of the property, and then start laying out my next set of projects. So, all right, good stuff. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys later.